Distinguished and invited guests, union representatives, I cannot forget you, Mr. Singh. Another Mr. Singh is there, Mr. Prasad, my very own lecturer, Mrs. Guamao, corporate sponsors, head teachers, colleagues, Ministry of Education officials, invited guests, media partners, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, good morning, Sat Sri Akal, Namaskaram, all protocols observed, and a very good morning to you, all of you. And of course, welcome to the capital, the one and only city. And as the Suva president moved around and introduced you to me, I was struck by my colleagues from Bar. Since when did we change our color from black to blue? Maybe that's the reason why Bar didn't make it to the semis of BLG. But anyways, it's nice seeing you, and I'm told there's close to over 700 participants here this morning for your 3-day 24th Head Teachers Association conference. So like I said, welcome to Suva again. I know you've traveled from far, especially to the team from the north. I hope you enjoy your 3 days here, and thank you for taking this conference very seriously and registering to be part of the 3-day conference. If I can quickly reflect back on the President's request, the 3 issues that she brought up. One, that the Head Teachers Association continue with the conferences. I have no issues with that, as long as you do things by the book. We are here to support you, and your conference in future will continue with the support from the Ministry of Education. The second issue raised was the fact that heads of schools, senior members within the education fraternity need to be consulted at all levels within the ministry, and I think that's an area where we lacked, and I can assure you that you will be part of our discussions now and in the future. It may not be possible for us to have all your views, but definitely we will be working around divisions and working with your associations to see how best we can incorporate your views into future policies, and even when we review our current policies or when we do new policies that's in regards to the teaching and learning, and especially teachers' welfare within the Ministry of Education. And the last one she talked about was senior members, senior teachers. I mean, I would say not only primary head teachers, but senior members within the primary, secondary, and the EC section. The fact that we need to exit you with dignity, that's very important. Nothing can ever take away the experiences, the legacy, the wisdom that senior members within the education fraternity have. So what we've decided to do, you may have seen that we've changed the policy to allow you to continue till the end of the year. If normally if it was your birthday, then you exit on that particular day. Now, not only are we re-engaging those that have retired, but we are also allowing you to continue till the end of the year. Given the shortages that is currently within the ministry in the country, who knows? You may be allowed to serve another couple of years as an exit pathway to retirement, but that's something that we can always discuss. But let me put on record here, ladies and gentlemen, my appreciation and the ministry's appreciation and the government's appreciation to all those who've been part of the education system since it started in Fiji. That goes a long, long way back. And we must give credit where it's due. Where we are today, in terms of our teaching profession, in terms of progresses that the ministry has made, it's not yours and mine alone. It is those that have been here before us, those that have left their legacy within the education system, those that have retired, those that have migrated, those that have passed away and left us. It's very important that we acknowledge their contributions. I mean, at one time I was on the other side too. And if I'm given a chance to be on the other side of this room, believe me, I would accept it willingly. Because teaching indeed is a noble calling. And indeed, nobody said that life's journey was going to be on a calm sea. It's always going to have rough patches. And the fact that we're able to overcome these challenges, the fact that we're able to adjust to these things, certain things don't actually come our way. I mean, 23 years being in the teaching field, I can't say it was all rosy, let me use my name again. It's never been a plain sailing journey for teachers, and your union members are here, and they continue to bring up to the table the issues that affect you. And I must admit here, truly and honestly, it can't happen overnight. Certain things don't happen overnight. I've been here nearly 1 year, and I've been able to, I have actually understood certain things that can be changed for the betterment of the welfare, and we will do it. Not everything, not every policy that has been in place can be changed overnight, like I said, legal implications, etc. But we will try to see that we come to a path where things work out well for you and us. But again, if you see you and I differently, this ministry is your ministry. If you say Ministry of Education, it's yours and mine. It's yours and mine, and we will have to. And of course, the other stakeholders that play a very important role in ensuring that work continues. So I just went off the track there, but thank you very much for that. So once again, thank you very much, and to the organizers. I understand it's not an easy job organizing a conference of such a magnitude. And I'm sure you'll be looked after by the Suva branch, and hope you enjoy your time here. And of course, as mentioned again by the President, do not get deflected by the bright lights of the city. You have a beautiful family waiting out there. Make sure after your 3 days conference, make your safe journey back to your loved ones. And so ladies and gentlemen, over the past few months, or actually not over the past few months, since I've joined, I have tried to travel across to many parts of the country and have an opportunity to meet people. And over the last 2 weeks, I have been traveling a lot, and for commissioning of the newly reconstructed school buildings that was devastated by T.C. Winston. Even in Parliament this week, T.C. Winston doesn't seem to leave us. And I think the memories of T.C. Winston will never leave us. So you who have traveled from areas that were red zone during the 2016 T.C. Winston disaster, you know what happened to your schools. You know how you were affected, how your communities were affected, how your children were affected, and how we are still rebuilding. So we are still in the rebuilding phase, and we have successfully upgraded and rebuilt vast majority of schools, of course with government assistance and foreign government assistance and NGO partners and other stakeholders. And we have a few remaining schools that need to get off the ground, and we hope to see that the next financial year, where we've been given a budget of 35 million, will see us complete most of the project. T.C. Winston devastated 490 plus schools. Some sustained major damages, some sustained total damages, and some sustained minor damages. So we are still in the rebuilding phase, like I said. And I think what I need to stress here, Anna, before coming to your conference and your team, the fact that we are rebuilding your schools. We are working with NGOs, we are working with faith-based organizations, and we are trying to see that we give you the best buildings so your children can have a very conducive learning environment. The ball is in your court now as heads of schools. We want you to look after those buildings, and of course we want it to be maintained for the future generations. So what we are doing in order to support you, in order to support ourselves, we are carrying out an infrastructure audit of all schools. Not only those that were damaged by T.C. Winston, but we understand there are schools that were built 100 years ago. And if Winston had not come, we would not have realized how weak our schools were, or how weak some of our schools still are. So this infrastructure audit, we've done it for the government schools, and now we're moving into the other schools, will allow us to budget and plan for the future, which schools need to go, which school needs to be injected with more funds to ensure that buildings become up to date. So that's in plan. We're also reviewing your school maintenance handbook and how we can plan ahead with that. We're also reviewing the education in emergency policy, and of course adopting the Build Back Better principle for all future construction, whether it's a toilet, whether it's a canteen block, whether it's an ECE building. All buildings in future will be built back to better standards. We are also developing a disaster risk reduction and management manual for schools with the cooperation and guidance of a host of experts like UNICEF, UNDP, and NDMO, and the various other NGOs that we work with. So ladies and gentlemen, since 2014, I'll just go up till 2014. 2014, the government has gone far beyond just construction and of course offering you a holistic package to support our students and teachers from every angle. It may not be enough, but we've made a start. We have ensured that all Fijian children get access to educational opportunities by providing transport assistance. To date, we have spent $120 million. From 2014 till today, $120 million has been spent on transport assistance. Free tuition grants for early childhood care education, primary and secondary, amounts to $347 million, again from 2014. The free milk for year one, $10 million since 2015. And of course, you're aware of the changes that have been brought about in this year's budget. Free textbooks has cost us $14 million since 2014. And yes. So if I can just touch on free textbooks while we are on that. At the moment, we are finding that because we are giving out textbooks to the students, there seems to be very little responsibility taken by parents and students. Year in, year out, we get same requests. So if we've given, say for a particular school, if we've given you 50 copies of Target 7, and the next year you order again 50 copies of Target 7, the question is, where is the book store? You only request for more should your student numbers rise. So again, we are working with the Curriculum Advisory Services. I hope the director is here. We really need to pull up our stops in this matter, because that's a waste of resources. And any waste of resources is a waste of taxpayers' money, and that resource could be utilized better somewhere. So we've identified the gaps here and there, and we're trying to see how best we can fill that. And rest assured, we will continue to provide you with that the support, because we as a government have realized and recognized that education is the key to unlocking Fiji's true economic potential, and that's why we have dedicated, and we will continue to dedicate attention and resources required to not just bolster education, but witness it undergo a ongoing revolution. Ladies and gentlemen, this commitment that we have done, let's see what the results of it. From 2014, we've had a year-on-year average increase in enrollment of girls at a rate of 3% annually, a staggering increase of 16% over just 16 years. Of course, there are more Fijian girls in our classrooms than ever before, which means that we will have more Fijian girls growing up and taking up professional positions, which is indeed an achievement for us as a country. So education means empowerment, and our girls are more empowered than ever, of course not leaving our boy child behind. So together we will carry this legacy forward of empowerment through education. And this is an achievement we could never have achieved without you. So thank you once again, and that is something that you should celebrate. We all should celebrate. We should find reasons to celebrate our successes, even in your own schools. Please do that. Find reasons to celebrate your teachers' achievements, your children's achievements, any achievements in the community, because community is an equal partnership in our journey towards this revolution. And we have seen an increase in the number of students enrolled in early childhood education from just 1,000 to over 19,000, an unbelievable increase of about 1,800%. So again, thank you very much for your role in this. Now coming back to your education themes, ladies and gentlemen, let me call you my friends and colleagues, and of course, education advocates. In a time when the world has begun to look at Fiji as a model for economic and environmental sustainability, the theme for your conference, Educational Leaders for Sustainability, particularly fitting as we collaborate and embark on comprehensively improving education standards in Fiji to again be a leader in sustainability. By the very nature of being an educator, you are a leader. It is in your blood. I think it's in all our blood. Head teachers are the leaders of teachers and students in the school. Teachers are the leaders in their classroom. So every educator and administrator plays a vital part in leading schools into tomorrow's sustainable future. Together, in whatever role we are in right now, we are making a difference. We have been making a difference in the lives of our students, and of course, in our communities and the nation as a whole. And of course, we can do better. Together, we can do better to lead Fiji to a more educated future. Meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, real leadership and effective leadership doesn't come from the job title alone. As leaders in our primary schools, I would like to set out my expectations for you so you and I together can lead Fiji's educational system to the next level. Number one, be a leader, like I said. We need you to lead your school, to guide your teachers to improve the way they teach and to nurture our students. And we need you to do it with personal conviction, teaching the nobility of the teaching profession, the compassion that comes from the teaching profession, the commitment and the dedication must all start with you. Take ownership of your work and your responsibility to impact the lives of your teachers, your bright young students, and indeed the nation that depends on you. Communication, we need you to clearly articulate the vision and mission of the Ministry of Education within your own schools. Work closely with your stakeholders to start a dialogue with them, including parents, teachers, the school management, the community. Recently, and I think you must have heard when we joined in, we had some issues with our faith-based organization. Through dialogue, we were able to counter that issue. So you as leaders of the school, you need to work with your management, you need to work with your faith-based organizations, you need to work with your teachers. They are very important. Okay? And of course, we understand that all stakeholders contribute to the school and more importantly to the overall quality of education our students are doing. Again, coming back on quality. Quality, how do you define quality? That's very important. Again, I said, we can give you the buildings, we can give you the grant, we can give you the resources and everything, but the quality of education that is imparted within your schools will come from you as heads of schools. So you need to be the best and the best. And I'm sure you are doing just that. And of course, don't ignore parental roles. Keep on engaging parents in your work. That is very important. Recent results from the PILNA 2018 assessment indicate that across the Pacific, only 53% of parents engage their children on what happened at school or support them with homework or reading or numeracy. That clearly means that nearly half of the parents aren't as involved in their children's education as they should be. So how do we get parental engagement? I've made public statements that parents should not shift the responsibility, their responsibility, on you teachers or the ministry. You need to emphasize on that as well. Engage parents. Tell them what the child is doing, tell them what the child is not doing. Don't restrict your parental dialogues only during parent-teacher association. You have the freedom to do that. So the result clearly indicates that we need more parental engagement. And of course, there needs to be a positive correlation between parents and you, so that we can actively engage in discussions and see what's best for our children. Resourceful, are you resourceful? We are modernizing our education system so we can better prepare our students for the modern world they will inherit and which they work. You need to lead the change in schools, to guide teachers as we include more smart, technologically equipped classrooms to change the way they teach, and to apply themselves to lesson preparations which mirrors technological development. On a practical scale, you are the best judge of how techno-savvy you are, how competent you are with using technology. Sometimes when I travel around, I get calls from bursars and other clerks saying, "Oh, my principal or my head teacher is asking me to fill the families because he or she," no disrespect to anybody, but we come from a generation where we're not very techno-savvy. But the time for you as leaders in a modern education system is to ensure that you are computer literate, you have some levels of competency. And that's the way you can lead your school. So as our economy evolves, so must our schools. And the way we teach and learn. We need to ensure that we access competence in a variety of ways, not just through exams for our children. I've already talked about leading by example. You need to be a role model. You need to be a leader. Your timing in and out of schools. Oh, I get this complaint many times. The head teacher comes to school late but signs in 8 o'clock. Well, we're not there to monitor you. We're not there to police you. But just do the right thing. You want your teachers to be there on time, you be there on time. Okay? You probably should be the first one and the last one to leave the school, but I'll leave it to you and the school team to see how best you can do that. And abusing, again, there's a lot of questions about the FEG grant, etc. And please make sure that you comply with the instructions that are given to you on how to use your school grants. Again, we normally end up centralizing school grants should we find out that there has been abuse. Talk to your management. I had a meeting with some of the FBOs a couple of weeks ago, and some of them were saying, oh, we don't know how the grant is supposed to be used. So we are going to engage. Once the handbook for the managers has been reviewed, we will engage with the management to see where we draw a line. Where do we draw a line? What are the roles of the management? Where and how far they can go when it comes to the managing of the school affairs. So ladies and gentlemen, I think we've talked about that, and you really need to know about the policies that we have within the ministry. And I looked across your sessions, and there's going to be discussions about that. Give your inputs, please give your inputs if you feel these certain things don't work. But remember, policies are done for the general. It may not apply to you, but find out if you can tweak it to suit the needs. Maybe you are out in the rural interior maritime area. It may work for the city here in Suva, but it may not work for the maritime area. So use your forum here. Use your forum. Please don't be intimidated by the fact that you will be marked down. I mean, I as a teacher always realize that if you speak more, people think you want to be smart. I'll let the other word be there. But feel free, right? Communicate. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. See how best you can redo things to make sure it works for you. Right? So we may have a policy that says one size fits all, but it may not fit your school environment. It may not fit the students or the locality or the geographical barriers that you encounter. Use this forum. I see a lot of young faces here, and we look up to young leaders, and we look up to our senior leaders present here to guide and mentor our young leaders. There's a lot of questions. How can young teachers who don't have experience rise up to positions such as that? Please, okay, you asked for those positions, you got those positions, and now you have to fulfill your roles. So seek guidance from the senior members that you have, and always remember, like I said, seniority and experience is very important. So learn from them. And we will continue to review various policies, but again, our educators, keep your feet on the ground and see how best you can perform in your roles. Again, your feedback matters to us, and your feedback is mostly brought to us by your union, which I've already mentioned in the beginning. Certain issues we don't agree to, certain issues we can agree to, and we'll move from there. So we've just recently approved a policy change for teachers and school leaders turning 55 to be either able to choose to retire on your birthday or stay throughout the end of the academic year in which you turn 55. Like I said, there will always be opportunities if we are not able to fill in the teacher shortage gaps in those areas, science, maths, and industrial, etc. As we focus on student learning, student-centered learning, I've just asked for a policy change for the curriculum to be covered at a pace that best suits our students' needs both inside and outside the curriculum. This means you will not have to cover your curriculum in the first 2 terms now. Come 2020, you will not have to cover your curriculum in term 2. You will continue until term 3 as you see it fit. I think primary schools, I don't know whether it applies to you, it does. So primary and secondary schools, you best know the ability of your children. I can't sit at the headquarters and pressure you to do that within the first 2 terms. So we will have further consultations on that, but come 2020, we will want you to implement this so that your children get that pace of learning that they deserve. So this will also elevate the current pressure to have extra classes. If I can just mention to you about the change the change that will be happening in the transport assistance. We want all children to leave school by 4:30. By 4:30, all children should board the buses to go home. But because you have extra classes, because you have sports training and preparing for extra class curricular activities, that may not be possible. So we are trying to see how best we can confine school hours only to 8 to 4. So you have your families, you go back home and you have a life too. At the moment, I know you come to school at 7:30, you do your road patrols, then you wait for the last child to go, then you have extra classes because you have pressure to complete your syllabus. We'll give you the liberty of completing your syllabus in term 3. well before the exams, you decide that. So 4:30, we want children to be in their buses, because the whole idea, the discussions we are having with the bus companies and Vodafones is to see how best we can block those cars. There's a lot of abuse within the transport assistance. So those things will be communicated to you. We are still in the discussion stage. And while we are still there, ladies and gentlemen, we have come across complaints from parents that when you fill in the assistance form for the children, our children fill it, and then the JP or somebody signs it saying, okay, this is the income of the parent and this child is eligible for transport assistance, we find there's still some abuse. So I think Minister of Education has already instructed that the students will refill the forms. I know that means an extra work, but when you do that, please do it honestly. You know the socioeconomic background of your children. I've had parents calling me and saying, Minister, the teacher said, oh, you all can fill. No, all students cannot fill that. The onus lies on your integrity and honesty. It is for those parents who cannot afford bus fares for their children. I think the income is 16,000 something. I stand to be corrected. So please do justice to your job. When you enter in families, the data that you enter in families allows us to make decisions. It has budgetary impact. So sometimes you find the data you give because you want increased fed grant. Tell me about it. Put more numbers there, you'll get increased fed grant. Let's not do it. Okay? Let's not do it because we have a decrease in budget. We have a 200 million decrease in budget. We will have to manage our finances very prudently, and we look to you for that. Again, ladies and gentlemen, from now, following feedback from our teachers, new graduates and your unions, we've also decided that all new graduates will now be appointed on step 1. So everybody who's a new graduate will now have a similar salary. There used to be some salary disparity based on the job test and how they ranked you. So if you're a new graduate now, you will start on step 1 of the salary. Every new graduate will have the same salary, and then of course you move that. These were the queries raised by the older teachers who were teaching in the system, and they said, well, I've been teaching for 10 years and I'm on this salary band, but this person has just graduated, he's on this salary band. So we are working, there is work in progress. So to all the new graduates, now you start on the same salary as your other colleagues. Again, this will be communicated to you, I think through your union, but I just feel the thing. But anyway, so like I said, there's slow progress. We're making slow progresses on certain things, and we will continue to do that. And to those newly appointed heads of schools, you are aware that your probation period has been extended, okay? And so there will be strict monitoring by the divisions. And remember, it's not automatic promotion. If you've been appointed as head of school, it's not automatic. Those that are acting positions, you will act on acting positions until you decide to review or the post is advertised and a new promotee comes in. So acting positions will continue, but again, based on performance. Should we see you are not performing, well, maybe your acting would be revoked. We haven't done that now. But again, that does not mean that you become lax in your performance. And I'd also like to thank the vast majority of you and all those teachers who have followed our new path to Fiji's better education system, who are upgrading their education qualifications. A lot of teachers have started upgrading. Even our ECE teachers have started upgrading, which is a good sign. Okay? So this is a real win-win outcome for us, and a longer contract period for you, and a salary increase, and a win for the ministry, so we can issue longer-term contracts while improving quality, and most importantly, a win-win for our students who will have quality of teaching improvements. Ladies and gentlemen, let me share this thing. You know, we've heard about HR issues within the ministry. I know I have to be in Parliament, I'm 10 minutes late, but there's something that you must know. When we came in, we said we had HR issues, and that's the reason we were giving you, or your contracts are not renewed because HR is not up to that. But I'm not going to stand here and blame HR. I'm just going to blame the system that we have in place. Currently, if I can tell you, we have 12,700 teachers in the system. And HR has been picking up each and every file manually, checking and verifying and validating qualifications data and entering it in the system. So that come maybe come next year, or maybe not, I've given myself till 2019, end of 2019. Your data, your correct data will be with us. And that will assist us in reviewing your contracts, in reviewing your salaries, etc. So that is something that it's a backlog of work that HR is currently doing. Okay? So that should actually help us with our information system. So you may have upgraded your qualification in 2017. The manual file has that. But we don't have it in our system. So that's the work that HR is currently doing. I feel sorry for my HR officers. They're just sitting in desks with files all over them, but they have to do that. We have to do that. And I can tell you, complaints from you regarding salary upgrades and back pays are slowly starting to dwindle. That is a good sign. I think last week or 2 weeks ago, we backdated 600 teachers, if I stand to be corrected, back pays from 2017. So we are in 2019, right? So I urge for your support and patience. I know when it comes to money, you all want to be paid for the work that you are doing. We are just trying to do that so that you are happy, and then what you do in the classroom reflects that happiness. So that's some of the work that we are doing in the ministry. So there's a lot I wanted to say, but I'd just like you to keep up the momentum of the work that you do, okay? And like I said, at one time I was on that side as well. I'm still on that side. I still have that. I still have the teacher in me. Unfortunately, my role is different. So I'll try to balance that up and ensure that your welfare is looked after. But again, within the ambits of the policies, etc., of the Ministry of Education. Transfers, very soon we'll be sending out a circular asking for transfers for 2020. Please abide by the timeline. When you ask for a book request, timelines are very important. Transfer requests are very important. I understand there were situations earlier this year, but sometimes you've got to understand our situation. You want a transfer because your spouse has been transferred. Understood. We want spouses to be together with their family and children. But then, for us to find a space for you in another district, we have to move somebody else unless there's a clear-cut vacancy. So just give us that time. I mean, it's not in our interest to separate families. It is not our interest to keep you away from your husbands and wives, because then the wives start telling me, oh, my husband is about to leave me, or the husband tells me, because we are living away for 2 years. It's understood. Okay, my home is about to break up, my family is about to break up. We don't want that. So just bear with us while we try to find a replacement for you, and which should be, and which is, and will be treated as a matter of priority and urgency. And please plan it. Some people get married in the weekend and say, I want to transfer because I got married in the weekend. And they come to me and said, okay, fine, it's okay, you got married, congratulations. But because your wife is in North and you are in Reki, I need to see where I can find somebody who is willing to move. Because you are married, I cannot push another officer out of a school because I have to put you and your husband together. Plan, we are educated, okay? We need to plan our lives as well. So these are simple things that sometimes end up as big issues. And again, please ensure policies on corporal punishment. And that's becoming an issue. And like I've always said, I find it it's a very sad moment for me when I sign off your termination because of corporal punishment. Zero tolerance means zero tolerance. There's no other policy. Zero tolerance. So your heads of schools, it includes you as well, and your teachers must protect themselves. Let me tell you that. You must protect yourself. I'm just informed by PS that we have engaged some counseling agencies that are placed out in the districts, I think in South Pacific, NSP, and I believe one more. And they will be now engaged by your schools to ensure that they do counseling for children. We have a great shortage of counselors, and I know that that affects your work. But I'm told that by August or September we have 36 new counselors coming out. They will be posted in the divisions. At the moment, we are not in a position to give you one counselor per school, but they will be based in the divisions, and please utilize the services. And I've always told teachers, if you cannot handle a child, walk away. Go to your head of school, let him or her deal with it. But remember how you deal with that. Children are very vulnerable, right? You are adults. I understand sometimes the pressure goes up to here, but just understand. Try to see things from the perspective of the child that you're dealing with. How you call parents to deal with discipline cases. You don't know how the parent is going to react when he or she goes home. So even though you are counseling a child, it's very important you talk to the parent as well about how he or she should deal with that child before that child takes any drastic actions. So again, that's part of your role and responsibility as well. And like I said, every complaint I receive, I see it as a way of understanding you and why you act like that. I see it as understanding why you'd have dealt in a situation like that. But again, there are consequences for that. So make sure you know the boundaries of your work. And I'm, like I said, if I can end by saying, I'm determined to work with you to improve the quality of our education for students, of course, to look at how we can better your welfare as well. And the government, the Fijian taxpayers, of course, demand a return on the significant investment that they are making in education so we can continue our economic growth in an increasingly challenging global economy. And it's up to you. It's up to how you see your roles and how you help us meet those expectations. And let me tell you, that education of our children is critical to Fiji's future, very critical. And we depend on you, our teachers, to instill values and encourage learning in our children. Coming back to values, you may have heard about the launch of the curriculum between the Ministry of Education and FICA. The basic thing there is to teach our children the right things. From 2020, we'll have a curriculum that will be incorporated into your social science subjects and a few other subjects, which will have this values education. Teaching our children we have come to this point where now we have to teach people what is right and wrong. Go back. When we go back 40, 50 years, it was our parents telling us that. Don't steal, don't swear, don't lie, respect. But it has come to this. We are now in this society where you teachers, or say we teachers, we educators are expected to instill everything. From values to discipline to hygiene to eating to basically everything. Every other bad habit they learn by themselves. Right? Every other thing that's not supposed to be learned. But that's the real facet of the society we are living in. And you and I have a big role to play in how we mold our children, how you deal with our children. Especially those schools who have special children in their schools, please look after these children and see that, I see the president here of the West Coast Council, look after these children. Yeah? And so allow me to leave this conference with the basic inspiration quote. I don't have it here with me, but if you can Google it, Mother Teresa, that's my favorite quote, do it anyways. What we do today may never be enough, but we'll have to do it, so do it anyways. What you do today, you may not reap the benefits, right? But somebody tomorrow is going to see what you have done today. Let's leave a mark as teachers, okay? And I'm very proud to be associated with this profession. I may not have done all that within my 23 years, but I'm sure there's one child out there who has been inspired by me and is doing well. So we are responsible for hundreds and thousands of children within our care. And we can, and I think we should inspire, we should aspire, and we should work towards ensuring that we build lives, innocent lives that can be molded. And of course, when you leave here, you make some probably newborn networking. Continue to network. Share best practices. Okay? If somebody is progressing, try not to pull him or her down. Who does that? Why did he become the head teacher and why not me? Why did he become the principal and why not me? Okay, let's celebrate in others' achievement. And in teaching, I mean, my 23 years experience, I know there's so many out there to pull you down. It's just, I don't know. By my experience, maybe not yours. There's always somebody out there to pinpoint on the negatives. Let's look at the positives that we have. Because in the education fraternity, we can't have negatives. That negative would be probably transferred down to your children in classrooms. So help build each other. That's what your conference is here for. Help build leaders. To the senior members of this association, I'd like to once again thank you very much. Keep guiding our young ones, because when you leave, these young ones will fill in like a vacuum. But you'll always be out there supporting, and your work will always be appreciated. Your children will appreciate it, the community will appreciate that. So ladies and gentlemen, with these words, I wish you well for your 3 days conference. Thank you for having me here, and we will continue to talk. We will continue to talk. I've always said level 2 Senecal House, the doors are always open for you, but not during school hours. Anytime, holidays, break time, feel free to drop in for a coffee and chat. Let's chat. Okay, let's go. So thank you very much. Keep healthy. Enjoy your 3 days conference, and God bless you all. Thank you.